Welcome. We're going to start exercise 3A from chapter 3 on consumer arithmetic. Consumer arithmetic obviously looks at a lot of financial topics, but will also include things such as population, rainfall, financial, as we get moving through. It does have some real life applications, buying cars, using credit cards, deciding whether something's a good buy or not. And obviously percentages is a really big factor in this chapter. Please make sure that you're bringing your calculator, because we're assuming that you have one from this chapter on. Although some calculations are being able to be done mentally, there will be some that need a calculator. You should always look over your work and check that your answers are reasonable and sensible. That's making sure that they're not too high, not too small, and you should be critical of when you get an answer. That will help you to reduce mistakes. I've also included the red theory boxes here. One talks about converting a percentage to a decimal or a fraction, so dividing it by 100. The textbook tends to prefer decimals as it's most commonly used with money. The other red box, the second one here, is converting a decimal or a fraction to a percentage. We multiply by 100. So we need to be using them regularly. Percentages of a quantity. Now, percentages of a quantity, to calculate a percentage of a quantity, we need to first convert to a decimal or a fraction. Then we can multiply the quantity by the fraction or decimal. All right, so we've got to convert the percentage first. Let's have a look at the example. The Brilliant Light Bulb Company estimates 3.5% of its bulbs are defective. If a shop owner buys 1,250 light bulbs, the light shop, how many would you expect to be defective? So if we wrote this out, we have 3.5% of 1,250. Now, the first dot point said we need to convert to a decimal or a fraction. So we can convert. If you're worried about converting, we can divide by 100. Now, so we can convert to a decimal, which is 0.035, that's 3.5%. Of means to multiply by 1,250. Here's where a calculator would be useful. I have one here. Firstly, you could have done 3.5 divided by 100 just to double check that. Great. And we're going to then multiply that by 1,250. 1,250, and therefore for 3.75. Now we can't have 0.75 of a light bulb, so this kind of question we might estimate and say 44 and write a quick statement that says the shop owner could expect approximately 44 light bulbs to be faulty. Worded questions, we like to give worded answers. So a couple of things there. Step 1, our percentage to a decimal or a fraction both work. We multiply by the amount and we then have the percentage of a quantity. All right. Calculating percentages. Now, all right, when we're calculating a percentage, we often have two quantities. So here's a couple of steps. So the quantity A is of quantity B. So we're comparing these two. First, convert both quantities to the same unit of measurement. The second is to form a fraction and multiply by 100%. All right, let's have a look at the example. A typical computer weighs about 25 kilograms. When it's broken down as waste, it yields 3 grams of arsenic. What percentage of the total is this? So we're looking at 3 grams out of the total 25 kilos. Now the first problem we have is we have kilograms and we have grams. So let's go to grams. 25 kilograms is equal to, and we multiply by 1,000, so 25,000 grams. So what we need to do is the arsenic compared to the total, and we're doing the part here where we form a fraction to get the percentage, and then we can multiply by 100 to get our percentage. So let's look at this. We can do, this is where a calculator is needed, 3 divided by 25,000, which you get 0.12312 times by 100 to get the percentage. Now when we times by 100, we move the decimal 2 places, and you would have 0.012 or 12 thousandths percent. Notice we're calculating a percentage. I've included the percentage sign there. Thank you.